I was 20 years old.
Mm.
I married him when I was 17. So right when I turned 20, I knew enough to get myself out of the situation and restart, which I did. I went back to Coolidge, had my kid, and came back up here. And I landed in some apartments just at Rozier and between Central and 7th Street near
Mhm.
South Mountain High School. And I went off to, I thought, well, I did an education. That's the least I could do. So I signed up, registered for South Mountain Community College, and I started taking classes. I loved it. And I got a job in the student services. Dean Henrietta Harris
Oh, of course.
was, oh my God, she was amazing. Let's see, um, I'm trying to think who the other person was in our office. Last name Bradshaw. Think of it,
Mhm.
was her administrative assistant, and she would manage the student workers. And so we had a good time. I mean, I wasn't the only single mom there. Dr. Harris was quite the role model,
Mhm.
and she took good care of us. And in that office, between her and Jerry Bradshaw, I can see her in my mind's eye, was the admin and executive assistant at the time. And Dr. Harris was bubbly and serious and direct and clear. And I love that about her. And she was working on her PhD. She talked about it and it was wonderful. And I don't know, I just love the whole thing about going to school, seeing my grades come in, learning a lot. And in that environment, South Mountain Community College at that time it was a lot smaller. When I go to campus, I think, oh yeah, this is SMCC. It has blossomed. But I had a great time there. I think Dr. Cartness, I think,
Yeah.
was the yep president at the time, and they just took good care of students. And there were things on campus for us, like as a single mom, sometimes there wasn't enough, and so the student act ran out of the student activities center was a you could get paid $30 and get quite a bit of groceries to help you along, and that was great for me. And I just loved the whole thing. It was like a community, and so there were other people there. No, see, he wasn't doctor. It was Wiley Davis was the student activities director.
Yeah.
He moved over to Rio Salada at one point. And when I got a job, he had an opening in the office while I was working part-time, and I landed in that job. I said to him, I'd really like to work. I need full-time work, and I started working for him in student activities, and I had a great time there. And The students and the I call them professors, teachers were fantastic. And I learned a lot. And even when it got hard, especially when it got hard, they paid closer attention.
Mm.
And they had relationships with the students, which in the sense that you didn't feel like you were a number, but that they knew you by your name. They asked questions about how things were going with your classes. They had great expectations. For Dean Harris had great expectations for her and Jerry about our classes. They'd ask us often how it was going. And so I just had a great experience there.